Welcome to the full course on liquidity, structure, and POI. So this trading model is a very nice trading model. It is a mechanical trading model, so it is rule based. All you need to do is to find the setup and take an entry. There's no much complication in it. And the reason why I like this model is because of this model allows you to set limit orders. Right, so you guys know I really like model that don't strategy that don't let me stay be hyperactive on the chart. So this model lets you to set limit order, and you guys might probably be familiar with this model. That's because of its great. It has made many people profitable. Right, so this model works best on the uh, 1 hour time frame, 4 hour time frame, and 15 minutes time frame. This is the best way. Although it's a universal model, it works on our time frame, but I prefer using this model on the 4 hour time frame best, 1 hour time frame, and 15 minutes time frame. The more you are coming down, the lower the probability, the more the probability reduces, right? Higher time frame is the best. Now, what are you looking for? You are looking for either one of these pattern. Now, let me explain what this pattern is. And this pattern is basically what you have here. You have a liquidity sweep, price sweep liquidity, and break structure. Now, forms an incomplete pullback, then break the second structure. Now, at this point, you set your limit order at this zone, put your stop loss at this zone, and target the fixed risk reward based on the trading plan I have for this model 3R. That's your fixed risk reward. Then you expect price to trade and tap into this space and expand higher. And that's it for the second one. Second one is very similar to this one, except that the structural liquidity formed before the break of structure. So when price finally breaks this structure, you want to make sure that price break structure. That's the key of it. You want to make sure that price actually breaks structure. So once price finally breaks this structure now, you can now set your limit order at this zone and target 3 hour. So remember, the key is that price swept liquidity, it broke structure, actually break structure. Now gives you some form of structural liquidity. That's your stage. That's what staged your entry. And same as this one. Now, something to take note of is the key level we are using. You can decide to use order block, which is the last down close candle before the bullish move, or you can decide to use a QMR. This is actually QMR. What you see here is QMR, which is the order block that actually failed to hold. So this can be your good entry. Whatever one you decide to use is completely fine. The reason why I like using this one is because of this one have this similar structure with a very popular trading pattern, which is double head and neck and shoulder pattern, except that you it's just like you adding, except that there is liquidity context to it. So it's just like you adding liquidity context to head and shoulder pattern, because if you look at this thing, this is first, this is the neck, this is the head, and this is the second neck. So the only difference is that there's actually a liquidity. Yeah, you're adding the context of liquidity. That's why I like looking at it like this. But most time I look at it, I frame it using this ideology of QMR, so that it makes it very easy for me to spot. And I actually, my actual entry will be using the other block, because I noticed that price actually likes to trade into the other block. So this is the model we are looking over. I don't like to make my videos long. I like to go straight to the point. So you are looking for distance. Now, this pattern might be very difficult for you to spot at the beginning, but the more you trade it, the more you get used to it. And I'm actually posting setup using this pattern in my free Telegram channel, right? So you can click the link there to join it. So that way you get acquainted with it. Now let me show you guys a couple of live examples that I called in my private group and also in my free Telegram channel, so you can understand what I'm trying to say. Now the first example we are looking at here is on BTC USD. And what do we have here? Remember the first row, we have price trading into the higher time frame key level. This is the daily time frame. So now we now form this whole pattern on the 4 hour time frame. If you have to go to the 4 hour time frame, you can see this whole pattern. It was formed on the 4 hour time frame. Now let's try to draw the pattern again. What do we have here? We have first, you can call this your liquidity sweep or call this one your liquidity sweep, whatever one you want. But let's try to make everything neat. So this is actually the liquidity sweep. As you can see, the main liquidity sweep, we have price forming a low, now coming to take out that low. After it takes out that low, now create some kind of structural liquidity, then finally break the major structure, which is this. After you break its major structure, at this point, you will set your limit order at this place, put your stop loss at this place, and expect price to trigger you in. So price is going to trigger you in at this place and expand higher. Now your fixed risk reward is 1 to 3. That's the rule I set for it. Remember, 1 to 3. So if you look at this pattern, you can see that it's the same thing with this second pattern I gave you guys. It's the same thing with this second pattern. And this is the first example. Let me give you guys the second example. Let me cut you guys here for a few minutes. So this is an update on the challenge we started with the team. If you guys are not aware, we actually started a challenge. The initial goal of the challenge was to accumulate $1 million in profit capital. After some time, I decided to break it down to make it modularly, so it can be something that is a 3 months goal. So the goal was to start with the smallest profit, which is 5K, and scale up to 100K in profit capital. So the reason why I started this challenge is to help my students build capital. And we actually started this challenge, I think around late August, right? So this is an update I posted on the challenge. So the first 5K has been passed. The second one is up 3%. And we try to make withdrawal from the first one and use it to buy the next bigger profit, which is 25K. And that's how we scale up. And this is actually a proof of it. I bought the account, my student bought it, and you can see that we actually passed it. It's an 8% profit target. This is phase 2. The phase 1, I've posted it if you scroll up. So this is the second account we are trading, which is up 3%. Alright, so that this update was on 13th of October. And the recent one we posted was on 10th of November, which is today. And the mission continues. The second 5K account has been passed. The next 25K account is phase 1 is currently up 2.7%. And the goal we are looking to do is to pass the 25K and make just 3% and withdraw this amount. This is the math here. And we're going to use the profit to buy a 10K at the 100K account and make which will cost $500, then use it to pass it. And at the end of this, so the goal of this next 3 months is to make 200K in profit funding, right? So if you guys are interested in it, and this is actually the proof of it, you can go through it. You can see this is actually the proof of the next 25K we have, but this one is up 20. This up only 2.7%. And if you are to scroll down, this is actually a trade that I took on it as I'm about to pass a trade that is currently running that is about to pass to be passed, right? So if you guys are interested, you can reach me out on this Telegram channel. Just click the link to join the free group, and you can even scroll through it to see the proof or see the setup we are posting, and just send a DM to the admin. I'm going to talk to you personally. I see if you're a good fit, and if you're a good fit, I'll add you up. It will cost you money. But if you don't have the money to take the challenge, you can actually start doing the challenge on your own. All you need to do is to subscribe to the all you need to do is to subscribe to this channel, to this free group, and take it. So not all setup I post are going to be that are posted for free. So when you see one, you capitalize on it, get a reliable platform, and set a 1% risk per trade. And if you and build a trading manager. So this is the you can go through this pin post and try to do the challenge on your own. It's key you challenge yourself. You want to go and challenge yourself. If you don't challenge yourself, you're not going to make money trading. That's the best way you can make money, by challenging yourself. But if you guys want to join my group, you can actually send me a DM. I think that's the best if you have the money. But if you don't have money, just try to do it on your own. So that's it for this. I just want to let you guys know this is what our mentorship is offering. Okay, so now this second example is on CAD CHF. And what do we have here? We have two setup was actually in this place now. We were able to catch these two setup. I think I posted all of them in the free Telegram channel. Definitely want to go and check it out. I usually post setup back to back. You guys know I use two strategy. One of the strategy I use is this one, and one is one that is another one that is very nice that offer 10 hour setup. I don't usually talk about it, but this strategy is very nice, and I decided to teach you guys it for free. So this is actually two setup. So you can see the first setup that we have here. What do we have here? We have price sweeping out liquidity. You have price sweeping out, forming a liquidity, and then finally comes back up to sweep it. After he sweeps it, he now break structure, you first and form a structural liquidity. This is the second pattern I showed you guys. And finally breaking structure, although the structure is not clear, break of structure is not clear. Now comes back up. At this point now you place your limit order at this place, your stop loss at this high. So price now comes back up, and this is a very nice trade that we called in the free telegram channel. So as you can see, the context is the same. That's for this first setup. Now, as this first setup have played out, this high is now serving as a key level, right? It's now serving as a key level. Now, we can now expect price to, and now we can now expect, try to see the same pattern. So what do we have here? We have that same pattern. We have liquidity sweep at this place. If you are to go to the a more lower time frame, this time frame is a bit high. I think we took this setup on, is it the 2 hour time frame? Yes, it was a 2 hour time frame. And look at what we have here. We have price forming a high at this point. Now finally trades lower now takes out that high and then form a low, which is this one. Actually form a liquidity. This one, you see, is an incomplete pullback. It didn't mitigate the other block. So after I form this structural liquidity, it now break this main structure, which is this, break the main structure and trade lower. So as it's break the main structure and trade lower now, what are you going to expect? You can now decide to take your entry at this zone where with this zone, which is you can decide to take the other block or the QMR. Remember, the QMR is the previous other block that failed. So I like to, so you mark out that QMR and you expect price to trade all to this place and then expand lower. As always, you target trade out. Don't go and be like all these newbies traders that like to, that enjoys risk reward. So what they like to do is they will draw 50 million risk reward. That doesn't really make any sense. You want to be realistic. The one to trade out is good. Although some of my setup I like in my second strategy, I usually take 1 to 10 out my specific good and XPS 500 strategy is 1 to 10, and that's because of I've tested it. And taking anything less than 1 to 10 out is just like you not capitalizing on the full setup. It's usually trade 1 to 10 out because my stop loss is tiny on that set. That is a different strategy. And my stop loss is usually very tiny. And gold XPS 500 they like to trend. And that's the reason why I'm usually taking 10 out there. But when you go to this setup, the ones that works well on this strategy is 1 to 3 out, 1 to 2 out. So you just want to take 1 to 2 out, 1 to 1.5 out, you set break even, 1 to 3 out, you take your profit. Simple. That's the logic behind it. So now this is second trade. We call two trade here. As you can see, two setup at this place. You can see this was actually two setups. So this strategy actually works well, right? So this is two setup record on this thing. Why is this doing like this? So you take your trade out, 1 2 setup, right? This one is exactly at trade out before you get the main retracement. Look at this one, exactly at trade out before you take the main, before you have a major retracement. That's what I told you guys. One thing that you guys need to learn is you need to be always back testing. Some mistake that most traders makes is that they just go online and see ICT22 mentorship, ICT this, ICT that, ICT silver plate, and you don't back test it. You just take his word for it. How will you build confidence, or how will you know a little bit of tweak that is going to make your trading profitable? Right? Because of very small mistake now, if you choose to take 2, 3 hour, 5 hour now, well, statistically, 3 hour works best on this model. You end up hitting break even, or you end up not being that efficient, and that small little mistake can actually uh, turn to your growth. Your growth. This is why one thing that I encourage my students, one thing we are always doing is back testing. We always back testing. 3 times a week, we come out and backtest a single idea. And this single idea is, we're not trying to backtest a different strategy. We are still using the same strategy we come up with, which is one is this one, and the other one that I told you. But the only difference is that we are going to when we are backtesting, we're going to come and backtest a single idea to try to refine the model and get the best result. Example, sometimes I can come in whole day to backtest is over the last 3 months, what have been the best risk reward to take on this strategy? or what is the best place to set break even? What is the best RR risk reward to set break even? So these are single smaller ideas or something I can come and back test is how many times does it make sense taking QMI setup or actually waiting for an order block setup, right? So this is something I can come and backtest. I'll backtest how many times each of them work. Another thing I can come and backtest is uh, if I take setup that have not been mitigated, only setup that have not been mitigated, how will it affect my win rate? So these are tiny little details that I will take a whole day to backtest, and I keep piling this statistical data up, and this help me refine my strategy. This is why you guys, when people are trading this model, you guys have seen this model everywhere, but not everybody are getting the same results with it, right? I might take this same setup with five other traders, different traders on different channels, but some of them will not be able to replicate the same result, and that's because I know the best time to sell break even. I know the best time to take profit. I know. So these are the type of thing that you do. You want to be always back testing. So these are another example. I'd like to show you guys one more example. So we call it a day. So this was an example we took. Now this example was on the 1 hour time frame. You can see still the same logic, right? What do we have here? I think is it the 1 hour time frame we use or the 30 minutes time frame? Okay, this since I use the 30 minutes time frame. Now look at what do we have here now. We have price. This is the second setup we have here. We have price sweeping liquidity. It forms a low, then sweeps the liquidity, tapping into a key level. Now break structure. Comes down and form an incomplete pullback. It didn't mitigate this other block, form an incomplete pullback and then break the second structure. So this is that first type 1 setup. So after I break this setup now, it has have a real break of structure. Now you can set your limit order at this one. You can see what price it here. I traded to this one setup. I didn't capitalize on it because it didn't reach 3 hours. I was expecting it to reach 3 hours. So it came down and hit break even. So these are an example. And there are many more examples. So you guys can go and check out our free Telegram channel. I post setups there. So you can click the link in the description and check out our free Telegram channel. And if you guys want to trade directly with me, you can actually reach me out. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get one-on-one mentorship. Like, so I'm going to teach you guys my strategy, everything you need to know about the strategy. And you're also going to partake on the challenge we are currently running. So something that I started earlier is we started taking a couple of challenges. So that's the fastest way to grow in trading. So previously we started a challenge where we tried to flip $100 to 10K. So the next challenge we started this April, I think this August, I mean, was to accumulate 100K, 1 million in profit capital, but 100K is the main goal and make a cumulative withdrawal of 10K. That was the goal we started on August. And so we are going to start with the smallest profit. And this is actually an update on the challenge. And this was on October 13. I posted this update. We we have passed the first 5K account. We bought the first 5K and we passed it. Then we bought the second one, and the second one is actually passed. I think this is um, an old distance. So the second one is passed. So we use the money from the second one to scale up to a larger profit. Now we are currently trading a 25K account, right? So that's how the challenge is going. We're using the money we made from the smaller platform to scale up. So I'm taking the challenge along with all my students. I think this is the best way to mentor the students. I don't just you don't just learn how to trade, you learn how to make money trading. So that's something that I'm doing. If you're going to take the challenge with me, I'm actively taking the challenge, and all these things actually documented in this our Telegram channel, right? You can go through it. So if that's something you're interested in, reach out to me. I'll speak with you one on one and see if you're if a good fit, then I will fill you in, right? So if that's something you're interested in, hit me a DM and that way. I'm actually active on Telegram, so but you can actually reach me out on any of my social media. But I'm highly active on Telegram. And if you are skeptical about the viability of this challenge, you can actually just go through this thing and see the kind of setup. You can see that most of the strategy we are using is not even this. You can see how the distance is. You can go and check it out and see the updates. Also, some of my students' updates is down here. Alright, so that's it for this video. I hope you guys like it. As always, when I'm done teaching you, when you're done learning a new concept, go back and back test. You don't want to even start trading it. If you trade it, you're going to, maybe the first trade will be a win, the second one will be a loss, the third one will be a loss, the fourth one will be a loss. If you don't backtest it, you're going to give up at this point. And sometimes it's okay, it's normal to go through 4 to 5 losing streaks, right? But if you have not backtested, you cannot be, you will not have the balls to go through that losing streak. So you always want to go back and backtest it. So go back and backtest it, and so try to spot the setup. I'm also posting this setup in my free Telegram channel sometimes, so you can actually see when I post it or try to spot it before I post it. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you guys like it. Smash the like button, subscribe, comment, do all the YouTube stuff, and I hope to see you guys in my next video.